Here is the thing about mining. If you wanna get serious about it, you better have a lot of time on your hands, and making a good profit is not guaranteed. This is especially true if you consider the time investment versus the average income at the end of your session. And not every session can or will be successful. That much is certain. In this video, we will be discussing the current state as well as the future of mining. And there will be a special surprise at the end of it for those of you who enjoy this type of content. I will be showing you how to take full advantage of your mining ship and make it into a money printing machine with 100% success rate. So feel free to stick around to find out more about it. Now, back on topic. What is the current state of mining? I would say it's the most fully implemented gameplay loop in Star Citizen right now. And we've got many different mining tools, ranging from handheld devices to mech suits, ground vehicles and spaceships. The customization options for mining ships are quite a lot, with different mining heads, attachments of the active and passive kinds, and they also pair easily with handheld gadgets. But there are also some major problems with mining that put into question its viability as a money-making activity. The first issue is, of course, the RNG aspect. We gotta be looking for the good stuff. The top 5 rarest materials like stellarium, quantanium, ricite, terranite and bexelite. Those are pretty much the only way to make our efforts worthwhile, as we spent a lot of time looking for them. And it doesn't stop there. We not only have to find them, but the rocks have to actually be big enough and have the correct percentage of a given deposit in order for us to be able to potentially make any profits. And we also gotta do the work, of course. It's not easy. So the general rule of thumb is that big rocks equal big money, but giant rocks actually equal a lot of time investment without the guarantee of money. And this is true because you cannot break giant rocks all by yourself. You gotta have a teammate in a ship or in a mining turret to help you split those ore deposits. So that essentially means you've also gotta split the profits out of the whole operation, and the more people you get, the fewer profits each of you are gonna make. And it doesn't end there. The RNG game of chance continues even after finding your favorite ore deposits, because after splitting those rocks, you may end up with a lot of inert materials that get mixed in along with your valuables. And once you fill your containers up, it's over. You gotta run back to the refinery no matter what. But there are actually worse things that can happen. Imagine you fill up your ship with valuable ore and then you begin your journey back to the refinery station. But somewhere along the way, you get switched to a different server on the mesh, and just like that, the valuable ore that was inside your containers all of a sudden turns into worthless inert materials. This transmutation actually nullifies all your hard work, and this has happened to me on several occasions, and let me tell you guys, I was beyond pissed off. And this really put me off from mining altogether for quite some time. And lastly, I do want to mention something about the importance of having a responsive server environment. Just take a look at the clip here and tell me that you've been there without telling me you've done that. Even the smallest lag spike can turn your whole operation into an explosive disaster, which absolutely wrecks your hopes and dreams of making bank. And there is also the issue when stumbling upon unscannable rocks, so there's your additional time-wasting potential. So generally speaking, mining is actually one of the hardest gameplay loops to make money currently. But there is also good news. When it works, it can be a real pleasurable experience, almost like a form of meditation really. And the future of this gameplay loop is actually very promising. Because mining is going to become the cornerstone of another big piece of industry, which is going to be the crafting and manufacturing one. Just imagine all of those low-value resources like copper, iron, tungsten or silver, they are suddenly going to become valuable as raw materials for the crafting gameplay.
With crafting, we're going to give you the tools to create your own loot, to build your own home. Crafting will fundamentally change not only how you play the game, but why you play the game. Crafting provides customization. Well, you can't craft without materials. So for instance, each type of mining will have its own unique materials to gather. Adding crafting into the game radically changes your options. You can still mine, refine, and sell your resources, but now you have the option to make valuable and unique items. Weapons, armor, even vehicles and ships.
Let me give you a simple example. If you want high quality steel, you need to put in the best iron you have in the primary slot. You can put any quality coal in the secondary slot without affecting the quality of the steel. But the quality of the coal will influence how much of it you need to produce steel. There is the nutrition fabricator, the chemical fabricator, an item fabricator, and even fabricators of a much larger scale we will talk about later. You are free to be a generalist crafter, a specialist, or something in between. Pick the blueprints you care about and be the best.
We found a beautiful location by a lake. This is where we'll build ourselves a home. To do so, we need some resources. The construction graph card allows us to survey the land, claim the land in a lawful system, and it allows us to build structures. As we've already found the location and don't need to claim land in lawless Pyro, we can straight dive into building our base. Keep in mind, the following UI is work in progress. A survey drone that deploys from the top of the card gives us a controllable augmented view of the land. In the new structure mode, we'll pick a small basic structure and hit construct. For this demo, the construction will be instantaneous, but in the final product, this will take you quite some time. We've done it. We've built our first structure. Let's have a look on the inside.
Thank you, Rick.
And all of this leads us to a very important conclusion about mining. Currently, it may not be the best option as a moneymaker due to the huge time investment. And it's also very unreliable sometimes. But make no mistake, it will be the only way for us to gather the necessary resources, which then enable us to do all the cool things like crafting, base building, and ship manufacturing. Now, after all of this is said and done, it's time for me to reveal the special surprise that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I'm about to show you how to use your mining ship as a reliable money printing machine, and it doesn't have anything to do with mining. As a matter of fact, you won't even have to fly anywhere, because everything happens inside the safety of your own hangar. But make sure that you have landed on a space station which has a refinery deck on it. In this case, we are at the HUR L1 station at the eastern side of planet Hurston. So here is how the method actually works. First, you gotta spawn your mining ship. In this case, it's going to be the Argo Mole. Then you go inside your cockpit to unlock the ship ports by pressing the right Alt and K buttons on your keyboard. After that, you're to go outside and remove all of your empty cargo pods and move them away from the ship. Once you've done that, you have to deal some damage to the exterior of the ship by using one of your FPS weapons. Anything small like a pistol is actually ideal for the job. Just fire a couple of shots and go back to your pilot seat and repair the damage that you've done. And just like that, the ship is going to get restocked with brand new cargo pods for free, guys. Now, you just gotta repeat this operation a couple of more times, but don't overdo it, because the removed cargo pods will start disappearing after reaching a certain threshold, as the server is trying to get rid of excessive items by performing cleanup. Next, you gotta start rolling those ore pods directly to your hangar's cargo elevator, and when I say rolling, I really mean it, guys. This is actually the faster method than having to manually move them with your tractor beam, and if you do have one of those ATOS mech suits, then feel free to use it, so you can speed up the loading process. And once you're finished loading those things, just send the cargo elevator down, and all of your pods are gonna be secure in your station's inventory. The last step is to actually go to the station's refinery deck, go to the equipment shopping kiosk, browse to your inventory, and voila! Here are all your mining pods ready to be sold at just over 10,000 credits apiece. I have no idea why CAG hasn't fixed this glitch, but I am sure that they will at some point. And honestly guys, there are a ton of other ways to make even more money in this game currently, but there we have it. It's pretty boring, it's pretty repetitive, and you can still do it from the safety of your hangar. So that's where today's video ends, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.